Hi guys. So I was doing a bookshelf tour for TikTok and then I decided I think it's going to be long halfway through that and I'm just going to do it on YouTube instead. So we're starting over and I thought I'd show you what my bookshelves are like. So I have two main ones. I have that one that my dad built me and it's long to fit my room, and then I just got that little one. I have two little ones there. I bought one and then Liam's mom gave me one because I was running out of space. Yeah. Okay. I organized my bookshelves by color because I've just always liked color coordination and because my room is so white. So when I have a whole bunch of different colors next to each other, it just seems chaotic and messy in my mind. It's not that it is, it's just that's how my brain works. So I've done that the entire time. I tried to do it by genre one time and it just didn't work for me because I didn't like how it looked. And I know it's not the preferred method. Most people do it by genre or author. I'm editing and I realized my audio skips a couple times in the video. I didn't do that when I recorded it, so I don't know how to fix it, and I apologize for that. So this is what they look like. These top shelves are sports romances. This is the Dirty Air series by Lauren Asher. That is why I have my Lego cars there. This shelf is more sports romance. I have so much of the Playing for Keeps series because when I wanted to get Consider Me and Unravel Me, I wanted the discrete covers, but I couldn't find the discrete cover for Consider Me, so I got the non-discrete cover just so I could read it, and then I found the discrete cover and bought it. Then when Unravel Me came out, I got the discrete cover again, except like a week later or something, new covers were announced and I liked them so much that I bought those ones as well. So now I just have 3 copies of Consider Me and 2 of the other ones. This is my pink shelf, although not all of them are pink. Some of them are kind of like a whitish pink, peach, salmon. I don't know. Then I have the Off Campus series and the Windy City series. Off Campus and the Windy City series are also sports romance. They just didn't fit on that shelf because they're quite long. Off Campus is the ones that made me love reading, especially The Deal. The Deal, I loved Garrett Graham when I read him. And then Mile High and The Right Move are just such good books. I haven't finished Caught Up. I stopped like 50% in, and I just kind of fell into a reading slump after that, so haven't finished. That's it. And to break them up, I just put a stack of white books. Over here we have more Pink and Purple, and then the After series by Anna Todd. Okay, so I originally read the After series on Wattpad when it was the One Direction fan fiction, before the names got changed. And I read that in grade 11, I think. So would have been 2020 when I was 15. This bottom shelf is just red and yellowish, and then I have random books. That shelf is just black books. Nothing goes through my mind. Like, there's no thought process when I'm doing these shelves other than I need black books there, I need purple books there, I just need the colors. On top of this shelf, I have my special edition, like indigo exclusive of Once Upon a Broken Heart, and then pens and annotation supplies. Okay. Onto this shelf, which is going to take a lot longer because it's like 2 times bigger. I will have to move that chair out of the way before I do anything because it's blocking shelves and you won't be able to see everything. On this shelf, I have my classics on the left and then the Addicted series on the right. It's been a year, so I read the Addicted series, most of it anyways, back in January, the second week of January of 2023. And then I got the long way down, I started it. I was like, okay, I need a break because it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books. Yeah, it's May of 2024. Haven't got to it. That shelf is my blue and green shelf. That's all I have to say about that. Surprisingly, this shelf is empty and it's just books that didn't really fit anywhere and I don't know where to put. This shelf is my A Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, Haunting and Hunting Adeline, Mindfuck series, and The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer series. So with that thought, my thought process with that shelf is that they're all kind of dark and have like a mystery component to them ish, kind of. I mean, yeah, that was the entire thought. The more I look at how I organize them, the more I'm starting to wonder why I did what I did. It's making me second guess my choices, but it's alright. This shelf is one of my favorite shelves. I have my Shatter Me series, and I'm missing Unravel Me because Liam has Unravel Me, and I have my Chestnut Spring series. Okay, so Heartless was the first book I read in the Chestnut Spring series because I kept seeing it over TikTok and I thought it was a standalone until I realized it was part of a series, so I read those out of order. But Heartless is still my favorite one to this day. And my least favorite was probably Hopeless. Yeah, I don't know. But about Shatter Me, the whole, there's usually like a gesture when you start seeing someone and like dating someone that makes you fall for them. And based off previous experiences, I have like this fear of rejection, even if you know someone likes you. So I just don't let myself fall unless I know they like me first. And I started to fall for Liam when I would talk about my books. And I talk about Aaron Warner all the time, who was the main character in Shatter Me, because he was like top book boyfriend. And he'd be like, he didn't know why I liked him so much and he didn't understand it. So one day he was like, I want to borrow Shatter Me so I can understand why you like him so much. And I was just like, oh, that was that gesture that made me fall for him. He was also very kind, and he is still very kind. Yeah. This is my Boys at Tom and shelf, and it's the only series that is on the shelf. The train keeps passing, and I'm hoping it's done now. Anyways, I don't know if I'll ever find a series I love as much as I love Boys of Tommen. There's just something so special about that series. I read it for the first time back at the beginning of 2023, like the very first week. I think it was like January 1st or something like that. And I've talked about it every day since. Like, my mom will vouch for that. Liam will probably vouch. Like, anyone that knows me, because I've talked about it so much, because I love it so much, and it's just never escaped my mind. There is just, I've connected to those characters in a way I haven't connected to other characters, like, emotionally, and I just feel like I should, like, protect them with everything I have, especially Joey Lynch. I love Joey Lynch. And Gibbs. I love Gibbs, too. I could make a whole video about talking about those books. Yeah. I love them. So I have the indie covers of them. I have Binding, Keeping, Saving 6, and Redeeming 6, and then I have 2 Keeping 13s, and I have 2 Saving 6s in those covers. And then I have the new covers when she got signed with like Bloom Books. So I have Binding, Keeping. I don't have Saving 6 yet. I will get it. And I have to get it before the ombre spines run out. And then Taming 7. And I was so disappointed with Taming 7 because it's Gibbs, and I love Gibbs, and I've been anticipating his book for so long. It was short, and it was lacking depth that I'm used to her putting into these books. This shelf is just like blues, greens, and then the rest of my classics. This is my yellow shelf. I guess yellow and oranges. This has dark romances, so I guess I did less color and more subgenre with this one. Okay, I just want to talk about Devil's Night for a second. So that is not my favorite series I've ever read, Honestly, it's not close. Um, but it has my favorite quote that I've read of all time. Like, that quote has stuck with me for as long as I've read it, like from the first time I read it, and hasn't been taught since, and that is, abuse can feel like love, starving people will eat anything. And it's so profound in a sense, and like versatile. It's not just about abuse, or it's just anything. When someone feels unlovable or unappreciated, they will take anything they can get, in terms of compliments, in terms of love, in terms of just they're starved for those things. And yeah. I mean, I wish I could explain it better, because in my head I understand it, but I can't put it into words because I think that just does such a good job doing it, um, and putting that into perspective. But yeah, I just, yeah, I love it. And that's in the fourth book in that series, which is a really long book. It's like 750 pages. I think it's like little kids, where a little kid wants your attention, and if they can't necessarily get your attention in a good way, they'll act out, because bad attention is still attention. It's like bad press is still press. When there's a scandal or something, you're still giving them attention, even if they're doing something bad. And if they're doing something good, they might not be getting as much attention. And it's just something like that concept. And yeah, I just love it. That shelf is blues again. I've noticed I have a lot of blue books apparently. Down here we have the Eden series, some like beige-ish books, The Inheritance Games, and Powerless by Lauren Roberts. This is my fantasy shelf, and it's like the only fantasy books I own because I'm an avid romance reader. Although I really did enjoy reading The Ballad of Never After, which is the second series. It's the second book, not series. In Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy. And it was to the point where I missed reading fantasy, which has never happened to me, ever. But it has one of my favorite quotes, that series. Very different from the one I just told you about. But it was, he wrapped his other arm around her like a promise he intended to keep. And there was just something so romantic and poetic about that I just haven't forgot about it. Lastly, we have the Twisted series, the Broken series, and just a couple like duets and trilogies. So that shelf had the book The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith, and I think it's just such an important book. And before reading it, do make sure you read trigger warnings and stuff, because it has rape and sexual assault and those things. So explicit content and hard content to read. But I think she just did such a good job depicting how something like that, experiencing something like that, can affect you long term. And The Way I Am Now, also very important. So that's my main shelves done. There's another train, and I swear, every time I go to do this, there's a train. And there isn't usually that many trains. Or I just don't care, right? Because I'm not doing anything. But main shelves are done, and then I have two other shelves that I don't talk about. One I got recently. Okay, let's try this again. So I got one from my grandmother pretty recently because my grandfather passed away. So she gave that one to me. And then I have another one that has like second copies. Okay, so this shelf just has second copies of books. I am very big on purchasing second copies because I like to write in them. And books I really enjoy, I write in a lot, or I tab a lot, and I write my thoughts. And I just don't want to lend out. So I buy second ones and they're just clean. I keep them clean. And then I'll lend those ones out most of the time. Recently, I haven't been buying as many second copies though. That was like a beginning of my reading thing. I realized that there are too many books that I want to keep doing that. And then this shelf is just my second copies of the Addicted series. So I didn't order 2 copies of every book in the Addicted series. That didn't happen. That is a lot of books. That's a lot of money.
I got them as grad presents from like Australia, from like the book depository, and my package got lost. So I reached out to them as like, hey, it's not here. It said it should be here by now, and it's not letting me track it. So they responded and were like, we'll just send another order. Like, so I got that order, the second one they sent. And then, like, 6 months later, my dad came and was like, there's a box of books for you. And I'm like, I didn't order anything. And I was really confused. And it's because they found my other package. So now I just have two because the book depository closed. And then my last shelf is Liam's shelf. This is Liam's sword, and that's his pop figure of Aaron Yeager. And that's a Lego thing that we haven't finished, and then all his manga books and stuff. I have to go to his mom's house, which is literally just up the road. Like, we live on the same street, um, and grab the rest of them. I've just been putting it off. Anyways, that is all my bookshelves, all four, and I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, subscribe so you see other videos. I've been trying so hard. I have two edited, it's just they won't download to my computer, and they've been done since like January. It's ridiculous. Anyways, bye guys.